Well, in the words of Adrian Cronauer, a.k.a. Robin Williams, it's good morning, good shepherd. I'd like to introduce myself. I say I am Ed Johnson, a member of the Board of Trustees, kind of in charge of human resources right now. But my first experience in leadership began in 1994 when I was, right after I was baptized into the church. I was elected to the board or the Council of Elders and assigned to stewardship. And there I was puzzled up like a tree full of owls. What is stewardship? Based on what I see in the Bible, here's a working definition of the term. Biblical stewardship is about managing what God entrusts to our core in an eternal kingdom perspective so that we leave what he gives us in better condition than we received it. Stewardship is about managing God's gifts to us. This is kind of like a mantra of the Boy Scouts when you go camping. Leave it better than you found it. As I just mentioned, stewardship involves taking care of all of our assets, including you, our members. And today, however, we need to bring up that touchy subject of giving. Now, in my childhood, growing up in northern Wyoming, our church congregation did not have to worry about stewardship. Every member of the congregation, or the ward, was expected to tithe and pay a full 10% of their income to the church. And at the end of each year, there was a tithing settlement where you met with the leaders of the church and you had to tell them whether or not it was a full tithe. If not, certain rights and privileges would and could be withheld. We Lutherans don't do that. We don't set percentage numbers as requirements for salvation. Lutherans believe that giving is a way to show that God is their highest priority and to extend God's gifts to the world. It's a sacrificial act done out of love. Lutherans believe that people should use the gifts they have been given to serve others, and that they should give what they decide in their heart to give, not reluctantly. Lutherans believe that tithing, or giving 10%, is an important practice that dates back to Abraham in the Bible, but members will not be punished if they don't pay their 10%. We don't know. According to what Pastor Jeff mentioned to us in the last Board of Trustee meeting, the average Lutheran household in the world, or is it the United States, gives about 1.5%. I think we can do better than that. Finally, we also believe that giving is the highest form of worship because when done with proper understanding and motivation, it's the ultimate way of expressing to God that he is our highest priority in life. Stewardship is not just about money and making you dig deeper into your pockets. However, keeping a church congregation facility this size, it's like running a business. It is a business. Over a couple of $1 million a year is what we have to go through. And it costs money to keep the doors open, to keep the lights on, the furnaces lit, just like it does in your home, only so much so, more so. It costs money to hire and maintain staff, pastoral staff, ministry staff, office staff, janitorial, etc. Now, Aaron, would you throw this up on the screen, please? As a review of our past budgets, an expense record will show the following. And you all should have one of these little charts in your bulletin today. You can refer to that. It's also up here on the screen. And Rick provided me with his little cat toy where if I push on this button, maybe you can see a red dot up there. Anyway, prior to 2020, there was a pretty good balance between total income and expenditures, with even some modest overages. and positives. But you'll see at 2000, and this number here for 2000 is at the end of the year 2000, there was a slight drop in member offerings, which can be attributed to a commensurate drop in attendance, primarily because of COVID. Good Shepherd members, like the other congregations, heeded the dire warnings that we received about gathering as groups and spreading this insidious disease. You'll remember also that we had pastoral changes, and we went from 3 full-time pastors down to 1. Now, in an effort to keep folks in contact, we started live streaming our services on the internet in 2020. And for some members, it became a habit to stay home and watch the services. And I have to admit that it's sometimes fun to sit on the couch in my bathrobe with a cup of coffee in my hand and watch Pastor Jeff do his thing. But we need to be here. You can see from the graph here on the member offerings, the blue line is a steady decline along the way. The total income right here is a little bit higher in 2000 because we received a bunch of government grants as part of the COVID employee relief. I can't remember the exact name of it, the government name. But the total giving was higher, but that the total expenses, which is the gray line on your chart, or green, I guess. It's gray on mine, it's green on yours. The total expenses declined for 1 year, and then they started just increase, and they're still increasing, up to the point where last year we had a deficit of $84,000. We cannot continue. We've got to stop this trend. COVID is over. We don't have to sit, and we need to have our Good Shepherd community back here in the pews, worshiping and fellowshipping with everybody and contributing to the successful operation of our ministries. Now, in the next week, every one of you will receive a letter that I wrote, or it's a giving, or it is a pledge. And we haven't done this for 30 years. We haven't had a stewardship program in this congregation for 30 years. We're starting one now. We would ask you to please take this home, or excuse me, you'll be receiving it in the mail within the next week. Prayerfully consider how you can help Good Shepherd Lutheran Church become financially stable in order to continue providing our spiritual needs. As detailed in the letter here, we're asking you to please fill out the bottom part of the form, cut it off at the line, and return it here on Pledge Sunday, which will be October 13. We'll have a big box up here to receive pledge box to receive these pledges, or you can drop it on. You can put it in the collection plate, or you can drop it off at the office, or you can fold it up, stick it in an envelope, and mail it to the address that's up here. And this is not just a one-time deal, folks, as we will be keeping stewardship in front of this congregation for a long time. I'm not trying to scare you, but we need to get healthy and to stay healthy. We need to turn this train around. I thank you very much.